that much of a logic dive.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
Or did they all have the wrong time?
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
That's what it seems like.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
And we can confirm that by what Monokuma said.
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
An hour? No, 2 hours. Because she said that it happened. The thud was at 5:30, right? Yeah, so 2 hours off. How much the time is off after the killer messed with the clocks. Mystery, I'm going to reach the truth in one go. Where's the time? Akane's account.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
5:30?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
Yeah.
If only I heard the sound when he fell.
I agree with that.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Must have been.
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
Uh-huh.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Curious.
Huh?
Well, why would she admit it? She would not admit it.
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
I mean, she wouldn't admit it if she was the killer, right?
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
Did Chiaki hear the sound? Maybe the fine rooms are insulated from the sound. 2 hours.
I see!
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Yep.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they could lure out just Nekomaru.
Oh yeah, good point. Because he would wake up on time no matter what.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right?
Why are you helping us this much?
From there,
I
the
guess he wants
killer's
to live
plan
now.
was a splendid success. That's all it means.
A specific thing.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right?
Indeed.
But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
Make us late.
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
Yep.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Yippers. Revealed.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Everyone to ditch.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Yep.
Ah, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it. It's incorrect.
Okay, and the killer put the elevator on Grape's side to take suspicion away from Strawberry's side. Then he went back to Strawberry's side, so it's likely that he's from Strawberry's side.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Has it?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
What?
huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen
yeah.
after that?
If that makes everyone there.
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Nagita?
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who isn't? Who's the bastard?
I think it's Nagito.
You're the only one! The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case,
No
where were
exception.
you?
Please, say something!
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
Why would he help us so much if he's...
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
Why?
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
Just like Sonia.
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me.
But one of the three were definitely in
It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House.
Really?
But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
Huh.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Must be the fancy rooms then.
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
You had the fancy rooms. Good for you. You could have the other fancy room, I guess. Oh. What? I don't remember what they were called exactly. Was it luxury? No. Well, that's where it's rooms. Deluxe. That's it. Wait, why did I do that? D. Don't really need that anytime soon.
I got it!
Well, that wasn't that bad.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right?
Uh-huh.
If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Oh, okay, it is soundproof. I didn't remember him actually saying that.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise...
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent? Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Oh, hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Huh. No, maybe. No, no. Kazuichi would kill them. Is it Akane? No. I don't really know. Am I supposed to select myself? Gundam was with them, so was... No.
Crap!
Am I supposed to point at myself? Point at me! Aw. Everyone... Sonia?
Crap!
So should I just do... Am I really doing this?
Crap!
No. Who haven't I...
Crap!
Okay, I really don't know. I guess it could be any of these, because they could have been back in time, right? And Kazuichi could break things best.
Crap!
So Gundam? I'm an idiot.
You're the only one!
I don't see how he's the only one, though, really.
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
What's wrong with that?
Oh, yeah. He has a deluxe room.
If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the
No,
universe's
Gundam, you
providence
did
to
it?
stop it.
You did it, Gundam? Come on! I only like one more thing till you're maxed. Oh.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it.
I thought I guess it wouldn't make sense for Nekomaru to be in a deluxe room, since he doesn't really need comforts.
So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
I'm just dumb.
There is only one possibility. That's why. Even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Me?
Because he was waiting in the lounge.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower.
Uh-huh.
Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
Uh-huh.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Just like us.
Could have hidden in a cup or a bathroom or
The
something.
best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
Uh-huh.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Huh.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
Yeah.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Am I gonna have to fight Gundam or Sonia? I wonder.
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
10.
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Sure.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence.
Please
At
do.
the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Fuyuhiko should have seen you go to the bathroom unless you were in there for like over half an hour.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce.
Uh-huh.
Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
Because you know it was a suicide?
Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it? At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder.
Yep.
What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
You said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
And I haven't used like half of the truth bullets.
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption.
I mean, if he really did go to the bathroom, what way can he defend himself?
In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the first floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
Yes, you would.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Nope.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
Yep. True. There you go, wall clock, contact elevator, clock's alarm. Wait, no Nuggy sudden appearance? Good night button, broken doorknob, radio clock, broken doorknob, radio clock, alarm timer, contact elevator, wall clock, Fuyuhiko's account.
That
So between both houses, and I was working on this room, working at Grape outside. Okay, and Fuyuhiko's account, wall clock. 1:30 AM, the alarm, the wall clock in the lounge. Strawberry has the second floor start going off. Fuyuhiko was at the lounge by coincidence and managed to stop the alarm. Calm down, rushed. Alarm because I'm watching a gun run rush to both alarms after being alerted by the sound. He was apparently the only one who couldn't do it.
the only means of travel between the two houses.
Not true.
As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
I got a good secret passageway.
That elevator, the only means of travel, as long as that your assumption
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
if the killer cannot...
Since I was at there's no question that the
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two.
No, that's wrong! No, there should have been a